if there's one thing that I really enjoyed here in Corfu last night, it was their dessert. Surprisingly, they have really good chocolate cake. Masarap yung chocolate cake dito sa hotel. Masarap din dun sa restaurant. I don't know why. Hindi siya matamis, hindi siya nakakaubo, hindi rin siya nakakasawa, hindi rin siya nakakaumay. So, masarap yung chocolate niya. Kaya, when I was asked, kasi when we were in Athens, every time they asked me what dessert to eat, I would always say kaimaki ice cream. Kasi, ang hirap hanapin nung flavor na yun sa New York. And when actually, you cannot find it anywhere. I think it's from a bark of a tree. Yun yung explanation nila sa akin nung nasa Crete ako. Sabi nila, it's like a plant. Or sort of like, di ba yung vanilla galing sa vanilla bean? So, halaman din siya. Parang ganun yung kaimaki. Pero, in my opinion, of course you cannot taste pa. But I'm talking about when you have a specific scent, or if there's a smell that's distinctive, you would most likely know what it tastes like. For example, vanilla is a flavor, but when you smell it, you know that it's vanilla scent. You get what I mean? So, ganun yung, yung interpretation ko dun sa lasa ng mastic or ng kaimaki ice cream. Parang yung, di ba pag nagpunta ka sa spa, parang mentholating, parang may aromatic scent. Ganun yung lasa niya. It's just like tasting a spa. Like if you enter a spa, di ba may, mabango. It smells serene. It smells like minty. Parang may eucalyptus. Ganun yung lasa ng kaimaki. Hindi siya nakakaumay. Hindi siya nakakasawa. Actually, if you compare it to vanilla is so plain. Kaimaki has its own distinctive flavor. And it can be tangy. May tanginess, may sourness, tapos sweet. Masarap siya. So, yun, nawili nga ako na nasa Athens ako. Yun yung dessert na kinakain ko. Kahapon, ewan ko, for no apparent reason, siguro nagsawa ako kasi puro Greek, di ba? Puro Mediterranean. Although very healthy naman. Imagine for how many days. Kumain lang ako ng cucumber croquette or like a spinach pie. Sold na ako. That's all like pure vegetables. It's actually good for your health. Tapos lakad kami ng lakad, di ba? So, feeling ko, ang dali mong mag-digest lahat ng kinakain mo, nagpapawis ka. So, it's a very healthy diet. Mediterranean diet. You can never go wrong. So, ayun, you'll only go wrong if you keep on drinking alcohol. Kasi, nakaka-tempt din dahil may dami nilang mga liquor like ouzo, although I never tasted ouzo yet kasi natatakot ako dahil masakit daw sa ulo. Meron daw aftermath ang ouzo. May tama siya. May tama sa ulo. You'll get a terrible headache after. So I would prefer raki more than ouzo kasi mas parang malinis yung raki. Parang kang main na vodka. Or hindi Parang anisette. Clear siya na digestive. So, after eating something, gusto mong matunaw agad, hindi ka magka-heartburn, ayun pala. Kaya, yung mga tao dito, even in ancient times, the reason why they don't need to drink like heartburn medicine, mga Tums and all that, what they do is they take a shot of digestive. Digestive is like a liquor or an alcohol-based dessert wine, something like that, na iniinom mo that settles your stomach in. So, kung sangkaterba yung kinain mo, tas iba-iba, diba? It will calm your stomach down. Hindi ka magkakaroon ng mga acid reflux, ganyan. Yun, that's what they do. Dapat kanina, magsiswimming ako. Gusto ko na mag-swimming. Ewan ko, tinamad ako eh. Kasi ang ganda nung palabas. The first one was auction. It's a British channel. And the focus was the item that they're trying to auction. And Initially, it was all about the letters of Jackie O to John F. Kennedy. So, meron parang letterbox na they tried to open. It was owned by the Kennedys. They asked the permission of the living family members if they can open that letterbox. Ang ganda ng letterbox. It's so jubilee. It's like a red velvet letterbox. May lock siya. And then inside, inaalog-alog daw nila. Inside, there's like a lot of surprises. It's a collation of love letters. Portions of it were from Jackie O and her correspondence with people. And then, portions of it were also from John F. Kennedy. Now, when they opened the box, the real shocking twist of the story is si Jackie O pala at saka one of JFK's advisors nagkaroon ng affair. In fairness, one of the advisors looks exactly like in those pictures, kasi may mga pictures pa sila, may passport pa si Jackie O nung guy. The guy looks like Constantine. He looks like what's his name? Sino yung gumanap ng Constantine? He was in Sweet November, he was in John Wick. Bakit di ko maalala? Hindi tuloy ako makapag-move on. Keanu Reeves, pota. Keanu, kamukhang-kamukha ni Keanu yung advisor. Now, there was a point where like years after JFK died, was it years? Oo naman, may delikadesa naman yung guy. He waited for years. He's really in love with Jackie O. You would know that he's really in love. Kasi for a British guy to write that kind of letter na very expressive, very cheesy and romantic. Kasi di ba mga Brit, mga dry. Diba? He was very emotionally expressive to her. He really fell in love with Jackie O. When he proposed, Jackie O turned him down because she was still mourning and she thinks that their relationship will not work because everything about the advisor will remind Jackie about her late husband. So what she wanted was a new start, a new beginning. Hence, di ba, naging siya, Onassis. And Onassis is a Greek mogul. So, yan, may relevance tayo sa Corfu. So, that's what I was watching. Very, wala lang, trip ko lang yung mga ganun. So, before they auction the letter, they actually give you like a history, like a backstory of what they're trying to auction. That's what I like about the program. So, this particular series, they do not just feature one particular item that they're trying to auction. I think it's like maybe two per series. Hindi ko alam kasi ngayon ko lang siya napanood. British channel siya. Hindi ko alam kung ano tong meron sila dito sa hotel eh. When I was flicking, you know me, I'm so lazy at flicking, diba? Ang dami nilang Russian channels. Marami silang Italian channels, Greek channels. And yan, yung British channel. May Al Jazeera. Mostly news channels. So, kanina, yun na flick ko. So, the second auction, so the first one was the letters of the Kennedys. Correspondence with people. Nakakatawa na sa isang box lang siya, di ba? All their affairs, all their correspondence with their affairs. Weird. Before they ended the segment about the letters, of course, sandali lang eh. 2 years lang naman siya naging president, si JFK, di ba? After that, he was assassinated. So, there was a portion in the documentary wherein the Queen proclaimed a particular land or a particular space in honor of JFK, something like that. Yun, that's how it ended. The next one, we're all about several items. It's all the Fender guitar collections of David Gilmore. David Gilmore was the guitarist of Pink Floyd. Ang gwapo pala nung taong yun, nung bata siya. So, nung nag-umpisa yung documentary, syempre matanda na si David Gilmore, di ba? ang layo-layo ng itsura niya. Ang layo ng itsura niya sa itsura niya nung bata siya. Nung bata siya, sobrang hot niya. Natuwa lang ko. Kaya rin ako nagstay sa hotel room. Ang gwapo, grabe, ang sexy. Hindi, ang gwapo niya talaga. How would I describe it? The most sexiest part of his face was his lips. Very, for a man that's so shapely, like it's like heart shape, like that. Paano ba yung ano? Hindi siya nakapout eh. Parang, even at rest, his lips were, naka-shape siya talaga. Ang ganda. Basta, pakita ko na lang yung picture. I think I posted it kanina. His hair was like, a typical 1970s rock and roll dude na magulo, diba? Parang hindi naligo. Alam mo yung ganun. His eyes was fierce. And based on the, kasi black and white picture versus colored picture. The colored one was the present one. Kung ano yung itsura niya, which is matanda na, di ba? As an old person, hindi ko alam kung ano yung mata niya, kung gray ba yun or blue. Sabi nila, blue daw. So imagine, he has fierce eyes that are like, how would I describe the opening of his eyes or the shape of his eyes? If you have seen Triple H, the wrestler, kasi yung mga type ko na guys na kailangan malaki. Anyway, ganyan yung mata niya. Sino ba yung villain sa the villain in Voltes 5, Prince, I forgot his name. Yung mata ganun, alam mo yun, malaki yung opening, pero fierce, as in fierce tumingin, ganun. He has a manly nose. Tapos, his lips was sexy. He's fit. He's not like a druggy looking na payat. Na, hindi siya mala Mick Jagger yung katawan. Hindi rin siya mala Robert Plant. He has muscles. So, how would I define? To define it in simpler terms. Okay. Ashton Kutcher, Borgie Manotok because of the lips and the fierce looking eyes and the shape of his face, and Triple H combined. That's the actual look of David Gilmore. Ang gwapo niya noon, promise. Wala lang, nakakatawa lang. Tapos, sige na, on top of that, when he was being interviewed, he's not like he doesn't have the working class way of speaking of Brits. Alam mo yung cockney, walang ganun. He speaks like the Queen of England. He sounded so well educated. I mean, ito kasi, di ba, yung bandmates ni Freddie Mercury, most of them are geeks, di ba? Like they're physicists, one is a dentist. It is understandable that they're educated British men. But this guy is also sophisticated. Kasi sabi nila, hindi naman lahat ng rock and roll artist, of course, are educated. So, the way he spoke in the documentary, wala lang, nakakatuwa lang, kakain lang. Tapos, ang galing po mag-gitara, wala na, di ba? So, ito nangyari. The funny part of that documentary was all about the inventor of the guitar brand called Fender. We all know the popular Fender guitar brand, diba? The maker of Fender guitars. He revolutionized and perfected the design of an electric guitar that he catered to many different artists, specifically in the 1970s era. But he himself never learned how to play an actual guitar, which is like, that's weird. How would you perfect a specific instrument if you don't know how to play it, diba? Pero, ayun. So, ang mga in-auction niya kanina, nakakalula. I think, 4 na guitar. One was, if you go to Cebu, and you buy a typical acoustic guitar, that's one of what he auctioned. Like sa atin, sa mga Pilipino, that's normal. Like a standard looking acoustic guitar but electric. Yun yung first na na-auction. For like, I I think it was auctioned for $800,000. This is such a ridiculous price. And I don't also understand why he auctioned it. For someone like David Gilmore, you're very rich. You don't need money anymore. So, hindi ko alam kung ilalagay niya ba sa charity ito or what. Walang binanggit, diba? Yung mga ganyang rock and roll artists, each time their music, their original music gets played in the radio, gets used in a movie, they earn actual money each time it gets played. So, they're really, really, really filthy rich. That's how they make their money. That's how they remain rich up to this day. So, for you to auction all those guitars, he has four guitars being auctioned in that particular series. Diyos ko, isang gitara, 800,000, di ba? Okay, isa lang yun. The next one was like a cheesy wooden guitar also. It looks like an acoustic guitar. But the middle of it, instead of a circular hole, it was in heart shape. So, medyo badoy, cheesy. That was, I think, they auctioned it for $700,000. So, after the two were auctioned, ang pangalan ng auction institution was Christie's. Parang label lang down, diba? Christie's. There were women who was doing the going once 800, going twice sold for 800,000 na pumipiyok-piyok pa, nakakatawa. Ano kaya, no? Pag nag-retire ako, ganun yung gawin ko sa buhay ko, mag-auction. Laki siguro ng commission dun. But you'll make it more lively than the ones in the series. Diyos ko, yung series na turingan nag-auction walang kalatoy-latoy si ate, hindi makabasag pinggan. Anyway, the third one that was being auctioned was of course, an electric guitar that was white and gold. And they said it's one of the pieces that is important to the evolution of electric guitars. Kasi yung may-ari ng Fender, he tweaked the parts of it. Like the shape of it was engineered to, it was molded to make it comfortable when you put the guitar on top of your lap. Tapos, yun yung first guitar na ganun yung kulay. White, tapos all the metal elements are in gold. Not sure if it's gold plated or real gold. Imagine, it was sold for $1,500,000. It's crazy amount of money. I forgot the next one. I think the next one was a bass guitar. Tapos na nag-end na yung series. The next one that was featured was Alan Rickman. He wasn't auctioning anything. It was just like a biography about Alan Rickman and his filmography. And then bago dumating tong food, I was watching Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, that was really interesting. I wish hindi dumating yung food kasi nandun na siya sa part na. Kasi parang he started as someone who's really enthusiastic to learn how to play guitar. Like he really, really, really begged his father to buy him a guitar. And at that time, I think he was he signed up, he was already in the war. Parang sundalo na siya. Tapos, he learned how to play guitar on his own. And then somebody discovered him while he was playing in his room. Something like that. Ganun lang ka simple yung pag-discover sa kanya. And he's the legend, the best guitar player in American history, Jimi Hendrix. His life was too short, diba? Kasi namatay siya sa sarili niyang puke. You know, alam mo ng mga rock and roll dati, rock and roll artist no 70s, very self-destructive, they always OD. Ayan, tapos busog na ako. After dumating ng food, kumain na ako. Kasi mainit, sayang naman. Ngayon, busog na ako. Ayoko na kumain. Ang dami pa neto. Mamaya ko na lang kakainin. Hindi ko naubos, ang dami. Ang dami naman kasi. Lagay natin dito, sayang.